Hello everyone. Well, about 5 people. Just a quick video I just want to cover on the anniversary of Owen Hart's death today of 20 years. And I just wanted to share some of my personal favourite moments of Owen Hart in his career. I'm, I'm not going to go like where he was trained or where he was born because that's not memories of mine. So, yeah, so I want to go back to Survivor Series of 93 when the Hart Foundation, well, all the Harts, the brothers, were teaming together. And what I loved about this match is when Owen Hart was the only Hart to get eliminated. And at the end, they all celebrating, and Owen come down, yanked Brett off the top rope, the turnbuckle, and you could see that Owen Hart weren't too happy, and that was kind of the cracks with the Hart family between Brett and Owen at least. And that led into the Royal Rumble when they were fighting for the Tag Team Championships. And then, massive shock, Owen Hart turned on Bret Hart. And it was at the time a bit of a shock because in 94, like, you didn't really get many, apart from Michaels and Jannetty, you didn't really see a lot of that. And to see Owen Hart turn heel was quite shocking. But at the same time, it was quite exciting because Bret Hart at the time was a former WWE champion, champion. And he's going to be working with his brother, so you knew it was going to be a long program going between them. And yeah, it had to have been good for Owen because he wasn't really doing anything in 93 or previously as the Blue Blazer. So they went on and had one of the greatest matches of all time at WrestleMania, the opening match, and massive shock factor that Owen actually won that match. And think about now, like, that was the same night Brett left that show as champion. So if that match was for the WWE Championship, Owen would have been champion that night. And rightfully so. Because Owen Hart was amazing in that performance that he did against Brett. And I think that was the time Owen impressed people. Not only being a heel, but his promos and the way he wrestled against someone like Bret Hart. So that's one of the massive moments I remember of Owen Hart. And then obviously we got to the King of the Ring 94. The crowning was good. He's the King of the Hearts the year after Bret Hart did it. The actual tournament wasn't great, but it was better than 95, so I'll take that. The only good thing to come out of that tournament was the return of Jim the Anvil, which the return of Jim the Anvil was bizarre because he was known with Bret Hart as the Hart Foundation. I know him and Owen had a little tag team together, the New Hart Foundation or some shit like that. It wasn't relevant, put it like that. So seeing Anvil go with Owen was interesting, because Owen was still, at the time, feuding with Bret Hart. But now he's got the Anvil in his corner, which led nicely to their match at SummerSlam 94 in the steel cage. You're wondering if Anvil's going to get involved, but then you see British Bulldog was sat in the audience. So yeah, it was a lot of factors in there, and I know Bret really wanted to have a ladder match with Owen, possibly at SummerSlam 94, and they were given the cage, but my God, didn't they make good use of that cage? I mean, even to the ending. Do you know, out of all the steel cage matches I've ever watched, it's probably my favourite ending. How Owen Hart just fell back and was dangling. Brett just jumped down. That was a fantastic ending. My next memory of Owen Hart. See, Owen Hart in 94 was on a roll. So most of my greatest memories of Owen Hart is of 94. My next memory was the way he chucked the towel in at Survivor Series 94 to cost Bret Hart the title against Bob Backlund. Begging and pleading with his mum. His dad was like, no, Stu. And then eventually Helen chucked the towel in to cost cost Bret Hart the match to Bob Backlund. Great of Owen Hart. And then WrestleMania 11, 1995, when he became a tag team champion with the mystery partner of Yokozuna, which itself was amazing. I was always a fan of their tag team. It worked, like the big guy, well, the very large guy, and the high flyer technician kind of. It was a good combination that looking at them both together, you wouldn't have thought worked. But I suppose they could have been called the WrestleMania 10 tag team, considering that they both wrestled Bret Hart the year previously. We'll call them the Wrestling Machines. Some shit like that. What else we got on Owen Hart that stands out for me that I remember? The insecurity to Shawn Michaels in '95, which was good for the storyline and really worked. I even went on for Shawn Michaels to win the Royal Rumble because of it. But then the only two memories I really got of Owen Hart was the whole WrestleMania 11 and the insecurity to Shawn Michaels. Apart from that, nothing else really sticks out for me. He didn't even have a match at SummerSlam. No, so it's only really them two. Into '96. Do you have many good memories in '96 in WWE? Yeah, there's one. The commentating from Owen Hart, the King of the Ring '96. It was just fantastic. I loved Owen Hart as a commentator when he's wearing the old wrist tape, the sling. Yeah, brilliant commentating by Owen Hart. He was really good as well. That just shows like how good he was at promos and everything. Yeah, I do really enjoy that. And later on in '96, I also enjoyed the tag team of Owen and Bulldog, beating the Smoking Guns. When he messed around with that Sunny poster, I don't know if you remember that in the background. That was a good memory of Owen Hart. So '96, there was a couple. But yeah, that's really it with Owen in that year. I mean, don't get me wrong, every match he had in that year was... Even his match with Savio Vega at SummerSlam '96 was a good match, but not really that stood out for me. 1997 with Owen Hart. Few things. Canadian Stampede. Him and Austin at SummerSlam '97. Winning the IC title again off Rocky Maivia. Yeah, it was Rocky Maivia. And I really like the match with Bulldog and Owen versus Vader and Mankind at WrestleMania 13. Shitty finish, but it was a good match and a lot of talent. And if you've never seen that match, go back and watch it because it was quite impressive. Also, '97, the finals of the European, which I did in a previous video. It is my 5th greatest match of all time. Yeah, Owen 316 says, "I just broke your neck." And the Hart Foundation becoming one as a unit, which that in '97 to me was up there as one of his greatest years, if not his greatest year, behind '94. I'm more partial to '94 than '97, but '97's got to be his 2nd greatest year in wrestling. Yeah, definitely. '98, going into to '98. I'm Not a Nugget promo with DX and Owen when he joined the Nation of Domination. That stands out for me, Owen joining the Nation. Yeah, I'm Not a Nugget. The whole of that with Owen coming out, slapping him across the face. I mean, that was brilliant. I really enjoyed that. And his feud with Ken Shamrock. Yeah, in the dungeon match, the Lions Den. Yeah, they were really, really good feuds. So anything else from '98 stands out for me with Owen? Did like his earlier run, 14, his little feud with Triple H beginning of the year, after G Generation X and like the Hearts kind of carried over throughout the year. So yeah, they also stand out for me. And then in WWE in 1999, the thing that stands out for me the most, and with Owen Hart wrestling, was probably his tag team with just Jeff Jarrett, Double J, with Deborah. They were a really good tag team. And I always wanted to put them together in '95, because if you remember the Royal Rumble in '95, when they kept interfering in Diesel and Bret Hart's match, they looked so good together. They worked well together. They had previous tag matches on Raw in '95 without being a tag team, and they were a good little tag team. So I would have liked to have seen them happen way before, maybe mid '90s. Yeah, I think it would have really worked. So yeah, that really stands out for me with Owen Hart and Jeff Jarrett. And then unfortunately, over the edge, May the 21st, the passing of Owen Hart. Well, it was the time. Yeah, it was a time thing. So yeah, it was, because I'm in England, so it's a bit different if you're watching anywhere else. But yeah, and that was a sad day. I remember seeing them all gather around the ring. So I watched it live. But apparently, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong or if you know different, but apparently some people said you never saw Owen in the ring at all, because they also watched it live as well. And some people did. So I don't know. I mean, if anyone wants to comment, let me know if you saw Owen in the ring. Yeah, just because it's one of them topics. Like, I personally saw Owen. I didn't see the fall, but I saw him in the ring and a load of people around the ring and people on the ring. And I remember seeing Owen Hart led in the ring. Only briefly though. But yeah, I don't want to talk too much about that. But Owen's career is amazing. I was so glad when he brought his DVD out. And hopefully one day he'll be in the Hall of Fame where he rightly deserves. But at the same point, I see where Martha Hart's coming from. At the end of the day, it's her husband, and she don't want to put money in WWE's pocket. But I don't know how they would have got around that with the DVD, because surely that was putting a bit of money in WWE's pocket, unless I'm wrong. But, and that's all. Yeah, they're my memories. I mean, they're not the greatest, and you probably got better memories of Owen Hart than what I have. But they were certainly mine. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.